Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Ling Bisecker. I'm the Assistant Director for Fitness and Wellness at Boston College. And while I get started, I'm going to put up our disclaimer in a moment. But if you're joining me now, if you would just grab 2 blocks and either a small hand towel for later, that would be great. I'll remind everyone in a minute. Just wanted to say hello and to put up our disclaimer. So I'm going to share my screen with you right now. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. So while you're getting settled, if you have a moment, I would grab 2 equally sized books, or if you have yoga blocks available to you, I would grab yoga blocks. Additionally, if you have a small hand towel or a strap, that will be helpful for later as we start to work today into Bird of Paradise. So take your time, get settled. We're going to give people a minute or two to start to join us, and then I will pop the Spotify playlist in our chat as well. So thank you for being here. Just going to give people a little bit of time to get settled. All right, if you're just joining us now, again, as I said earlier, if you have 2 blocks or 2 evenly sized books, I would grab them now, or a small hand towel or strap to use for today's class as we work our way into Bird of Paradise. I'm going to stop screen sharing now so we can get started. So thank you all so much for being here today. So I'm gonna move to the back of my mat and I'm gonna pop the Spotify playlist right now into the chat. So feel free to use that with me or completely disregard music and just practice on your own. If you're with me, I'm going to start that playlist right now. The first song is The Sloth. So thank you all for being here today. So let's start in a seated position. And for today, I'm actually going to have us have our knees tucked in close towards our chest. And then take one hand around your shins and then the other hand around your shins. And just give yourself a little hug here. You can rest your chin on your knees. And I invite you here to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Maybe take an inhale here and exhale. Imagining yourself as a little seed. As we work on grounding today and on growth, I want to imagine that you're a little seed planted in the earth. And just maybe imagine here taking some time to inhale and exhale, let go of anything that doesn't serve you. Inhaling and exhale. One last time, inhale and exhale. Good. From here, we're going to start to slowly sit up a little bit straight. We're going to cross our legs at our shins. Our feet are going to flex. And I invite you to bring your arms out, big T. Inhaling here, we exhale, drop over to the right. Slowly gaze at that left eye of the elbow or at wrist, and then come back to center, inhaling. Exhale over to the other side. Take your time here. If I move faster or slower than you want to, take your own pace. We're gonna move back to the right if you're with me. Inhaling, we move back to the left. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, we lift back up, then to the right. Exhale as we lower. Inhale, and exhale over to the left. Maybe speeding it up a little bit, we head over to the right and over to the left. Let's take that one more time, over to the right and over to the left. Good. From here, come back to center, big T. Take that right arm underneath the left, give yourself a big hug here. Shake out that low back, shake out those shoulders. Switch opposite arm over top. Just giving yourself a little hug here. Good. And then come back to center. From here, your feet are going to be about mat distance apart. You can always move them out a little wider if you'd prefer. We're going to drop the knees over to the right so that your right foot can touch, if you'd like, the top or lower part of your left thigh. From here, your right hand is going to press down on that right thigh. Left arm is going to reach out to the side. You can gaze over your left thumb here, inhaling. Exhale, you just tip over to the right a little bit. Inhale back up to center. Keep pressing that right thigh down as you exhale, tip back over that right side of your body. Inhale back up to center. One last time, exhale, tip over to the right. And this time, allow your arms to slowly walk over to the right and maybe a little bit behind you. Opening up your spine here, you inhale as you lengthen. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper to the right. Inhale as you lengthen and exhale, tip a little bit deeper to the right. And come back to center. Good. Switching sides here, feet again about mat distance or a little wider apart. Drop them over to the left this time. Now the left foot can tap to the top or lower part here of the right thigh. Left hand is on your leg. Right arm is out to the side. You can gaze over your right thumb here as you inhale. Exhale, you tip over to the left. Inhale, lift back up to center. Exhale, tip over to the left, push down on that left thigh a little bit. Inhale, back up to center. One last time, exhale, tip over to the left. This time, hands can start to walk their way over to the left, creating a little bit of a twist in the spine here. Inhale, lengthen the heart and chest. Exhale, twist a little bit more to the left. Inhaling, exhale, twist a little bit more. Good. And when you're ready, come back to center. Your feet again are at about mat distance apart. You're going to drop your knees to the right. Right hand comes behind you, kind of 45-degree angle away from your right hip. You can start to inhale, lift up the hips, open up the left side body, open up the heart, open up the chest. And we're going to slowly sweep that left arm back in front of us. Legs drop over to the left hand behind your back. Right arm reaches up as you lift the hips, lift up the chest, lift up the heart. Repeat that 2 more times on each side. As you slowly windshield wiper legs to the right, open up left side body. And then lower. Windshield wiper legs to the left. Inhale as you open up. Slowly, one last time. Windshield wiper legs to the right. Inhale, open up the heart, open up the chest. And windshield wiper legs to the left. Good. Breathing here. And then come back to center. Very nice work. From here, feet are going to come together, knees are going to splay apart, butterfly pose. Hands can come around the feet here. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lift the heart, open up the collarbones, and then exhale, hinge forward a little bit. Inhaling here, exhale, I invite you to let go of any stress you might be holding onto in your jaw and in your throat. Just being intentional here about exhaling out from those spaces. Good. And then when you're ready, start to slowly sit up. We're going to bring those feet out wide, creating a little bit of distance here between our heels. Don't feel like you have to have your legs out as wide as I am. They might just be mat distance apart. They might be a little bit wider. Wherever it works for you to keep your toes reaching up towards the sky. From here, you inhale, lengthen, and then you start to walk those arms forward, hinging at the hips. Keep the toes reaching up towards the sky. Forearms might reach down towards the floor. Palms can come together. If you'd like to take a little break for your head, you can start to bend at those elbows. Just plant your head on your palms here. Inhaling here and exhale. Notice your inner thighs. As I said earlier today, we're going to start to work towards bird of paradise. We're going to have to really open those inner thighs. So from here, if it works for you, you can start to walk those elbows a little bit further out. Toes still facing up towards the sky. Inhaling here and exhaling. Good. Start to release any tension you're holding on to in your thighs. And then if it works for you, start to slowly sit back up. Walking the hands over towards that right leg. Really focus on that left leg, toes lifting up. Inhaling here, exhale as you hinge forward over that thigh. And then slowly come back to center. Walk over your left leg. Inhaling here and exhale as you hinge forward. And then slowly come back up. Good. Slowly bend those knees, bringing them together. You can just move your legs off to the side. Hands can come in front of you here. And then slowly, we're just going to sit back so our calves are together, inside soles of our feet are together. We're just resting here, stretching the fronts of our thighs. And if it works for you, inhale those arms up towards the sky. Bend that right elbow. Take that left hand to the outside of that right tricep and press the right hand into the right tricep, into the left hand. And then if you'd like, inhale, gaze up. Breathing here. Can you knit the ribs together in the front of your body a little bit more? And exhale. Good. Slowly release. Bend the left elbow. Right hand comes to the back of that tricep. Press the left tricep into the right hand as you inhale, gaze up, knit those ribs together in front of you. Breathing here, softening your forehead, your eyes. And then slowly release. Bringing your hands back down towards the floor. We're going to start to flip those toes and lift up here. So walking your feet in a little bit. You can take a forward fold to start. You can shake out your head and neck. Maybe shaking out your head, yes, and then no. And then whatever is a comfortable position for your hands to reach towards the floor, your heels might need to come off the ground as you start to send your hips back down towards your heels. Good. Breathing here. And like we started today, our knees, calves, everything are together, and our chin might just rest here on the kneecaps. Just breathing here with an inhale. And exhale, letting go of any tension or stress. Good. From here, lift the hips again, forward fold. Soften out the back of the head, neck, and shoulders. You'll take this again. You'll bend those knees, hips towards the heels. The heels might need to come off the ground a little bit or significantly. No pressure here as you drop your chin in between your knees. One more time. Inhale, lift up. Forward fold here. Exhale. Bend the knees, drop the hips towards the heels. Stretch out the back body. Little seedlings growing here. Take your time. Good. From here, start to slowly reach your heels towards the earth. Take this forward fold. And this time, maybe you walk those feet so they're about hip distance apart. Create a little bit bigger base of support. Then grabbing onto opposite elbows as you fold forward and down, taking this ragdoll position, feel free to start to sway side to side gently with the upper body. Good. And then if you'd like, switch. So for me, it's always my left arm in front, dominant side. Switch opposite arm in front in that ragdoll. Just again, allowing the back to sway side to side. And when you're ready, releasing those hands towards the floor, start to slowly roll up, reverse swan dive all the way up towards the sky. Inhaling here, exhale, hands to heart center. Good. From here, we open out those arms wide. And then we start to walk those feet out so that one day, if it's in your practice, the flexibility, your hands where your wrists are directly over where your ankles are. Now, if you're somebody who wants a little extra lift, this is where your blocks are going to come directly behind your heels. Otherwise, you can use some books, or you don't always have to go all the way towards the floor. So from here, we're going to pivot our right foot so the right toes reach over to the right. We're finding our way into Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1. So from here, we bend that right knee, working one day towards a right angle at that right leg. The left outer edge of that foot is pressing into the ground behind you. So your back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. From here, your arms can reach up, slowly softening the left hip here, creating a little bit more sturdiness in the legs, rooting through those feet. Inhale here, we're gonna create some movement with the upper body. So right arm reaches down, maybe forearm taps the thighs, the left arm reaches overhead, bicep by the ear. Inhale, we come back up to center. This time the left arm reaches back, right arm reaches overhead. Good, repeating that pattern 2 more times. We inhale, lift. Exhale, right arm forward, left arm by the ear. Inhale, lift up. Left arm glides down that back leg, right arm overhead. One more time, inhale, lift up. Exhale, right arm might tap down, left arm, bicep by the ear. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, left leg taps back, right arm overhead. And reach back to center, Virabhadrasana 2. From here, straighten that front leg, right toes pivot towards center. Left toes pivot towards the left side of the room. Bend that left knee. Try to create maybe a 90-degree angle here with the left leg. Back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. You're pressing through the outer edge of that right foot. Arms are reaching out to the side here, finding this Warrior 2. Inhaling here. Soften that right hip. Lift the left hip a little. Find strength in your legs, grounding. Gentle movements, if you'd like to invite them, you never have to. Exhaling, left forearm might tap that front thigh as right arm reaches overhead, bicep by the ear. Inhale, we lift back up to center, just the upper body moving here. Right arm glides down the back, left arm reaches overhead. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, left arm forward, right arm reaches overhead, bicep by the ear. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, right arm back, left arm overhead. Good, take that one last time. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Come back to center. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Straighten that left leg. Bring the toes back to the center. Walk your feet in. If you'd like, you can step them in or hop them in. From here, notice how your low back feels. We're gonna bring our toes together, heels just slightly apart. Inhale those arms overhead. Exhale, we sit those hips back in a chair position. Inhaling here, we're just gonna take some arm movements here. We're gonna drop the arms over to the right. Inhale the arms back to center. Drop the arms over to the left. Inhale back up to center. To the right. Inhale, center. To the left. Inhale, center. To the right. Inhale, center. Last time to the left. Inhale, center. Good. From here, start to stand it up with an inhale. Exhale, release. Walk the feet out again. You've been here before. Wrists over those ankles in time. Right toes pivot to the right side of the room. Virabhadrasana 2 again. We bend that front leg. Now from here, we're going to take what's called side angle or Parsva Konasana. We start to hinge forward like we did before, but we're going to hold that a little longer. So if you have a block or a book behind your right leg, you might start to reach that right hand to hold onto that block. Otherwise, one day your right hand might reach all the way to the floor, or you can always rest your right forearm gently here on that right thigh. From here, left arm reaches overhead, bicep by the ear, palm faces down. Notice that in your left shoulder as you lengthen through both sides of your body. Now from here, for many people, we forget about that left leg. So keep pressing through the outer edge of that left foot. Again, back leg is parallel to the back of your mat. As you lift those inner thighs, lengthening here. Can you lift out of that right side body anymore? Inhale, and then take that left arm, slowly lower it down towards the ground. Left heel pivots up, so we're in a runner's lunge facing towards the right. Now from here, right hand can come to the inside of that right foot. Breathing here. If you'd like to toe heel that right foot out to the side ever so gently, feel free to do so. Lizard lunge. Now from here, the inner thighs are reaching towards each other. As you start to lengthen, you press through the left heel, lifting the left thigh. Press down through the right heel, lengthen the torso. Inhale here. Exhale, soften your gaze, soften your jaw. Good. From here, right hand is going to come to your right thigh. Inhale, lengthen your sternum forward. Exhale, twist to the right. Gaze over your right shoulder. Keep scissoring those hips, so right hip back, left hip forward. Now, if you'd like, that right arm can reach overhead, bicep by the ear, or it can reach towards the sky. Whatever feels best for you here. If you notice you're dumping a lot of weight into that left arm, can you lift that left side a little bit more, engaging the core here, activating the side body. Breathing here. Lower your right hand down towards the floor. Good. If your right foot walked a little bit out to the side, bring it back to center. Right hand can again come to the block, to the thigh, whatever it would like. Left foot pivots back. 90-degree angle here as you windmill up. Virabhadrasana 2. Good. We take all of that onto the other side. So straighten that right leg. Might feel really nice. Pivot those toes back to center. Left toes pivot now to the left. From here, we bend that left knee. Virabhadrasana 2. We find our side angle, our Parsva Konasana on this side. So legs are sturdy. We press down through the four corners of your feet, especially the outer edge of your right leg. As you start to hinge forward at the hips, left arm again can rest. Forearm on that thigh. Maybe left hand comes to the block or to the floor on the outside of that left leg. Right arm can reach up towards the sky, or maybe bicep by the ear, palm faces down towards the ground. Breathing here. Now notice, can you lengthen and lift the left side body? Can you press through the outer edge of your right foot? Can you soften any tension you're holding on to in your jaw? Breathing here. One day finding that true 90-degree angle and that right leg, knee headed towards the left pinky toe. And then slowly lower the hands down towards the floor. So right hand comes underneath the shoulder, right heel lifts up, runner's lunge. From here, if you'd like, your left hand is going to come to your thigh, toe heel out the foot if you'd like. Taking that lizard lunge, left hand lowers down towards the floor. Breathing here, opening up the collarbones, opening up the heart. Can you scissor those hips? Lifting that right thigh, sending that right heel back a little bit more. Push down through the left heel. Stretching out your hips here. Now in time, feel free to stay like this or take your left hand to the thigh as you twist open to the left. Left arm can reach up towards the sky or bicep by the ear. Breathing here, softening the shoulders away from the ears. Again, if you're dumping a lot of weight into that right arm, can you lift that right side body, the core, a little bit more? Breathing here. Good. Soften your gaze, your face. And then slowly as you come back to center, if your left toes are out to the side, just walk them in a little bit. Left hand can again come to the outside of that left foot. Right foot pivots at that 90-degree angle as you windmill up Virabhadrasana 2. Good. From here, straighten that left leg, bring the left toes back to center, and either hop or step, feet and ear meet at the center of your mat. Big toes together, heels slightly apart. Inhaling here. Exhale, you sit back into that chair position. Inhale here. Now, be really mindful as you gaze down that your knees stay together. Many times when we'll move side to side, one knee wants to drift forward and then the other. Keep those knees in one plane. Inhaling here. We're going to open up to the right, by reaching that left arm down towards the ground, right arm up towards the sky. Breathe here. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, right arm to the outside of your left thigh, left arm up towards the sky. Good, back to center. Exhale, twist and open to the right. Left arm to the outside of that right thigh, right arm up towards the sky. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. We're gonna take that one more time, but a little bit deeper if we'd like. Hands come to the heart as you sit those hips back. Maybe the outside of your left tricep reaches to the outside of your right thigh. Shoulders are gonna try to be higher than the hips here. Inhale here, gaze maybe over your right shoulder. If you wanna take a peek, make sure your left knee is in line with the right. It hasn't come forward at all. And then come back to center. Outside of the right tricep, outside of the left thigh. Press that left hand into the right palm, gaze over your left shoulder. But again, if you want to take a peek, notice if that right knee can stay in line with the left. Breathing here. And then come back to center, inhale those arms up. Inhale everything back up, exhale hands to heart. Really good job. From here, open up your legs again. Maybe wrists over those ankles. Right toes pivot towards the back of the room or the right side of the room. Bend that knee, Virabhadrasana 2. Now this time we lower right arm again to the thigh, maybe outside the foot wherever it reaches. Left arm reaches overhead again, bicep by the ear, Parsva Konasana. Only for a couple of breaths here. Breathing. Now, if it works for you, we're gonna reach that left arm up towards the sky and then take that left arm behind us so the palm is facing up by the right hip. And maybe left hand can reach around, tapping the top of that right thigh. Inhale here, exhale, gaze over your left shoulder. Notice how when you deepened the stretch by engaging here a little bit of a bind, I'm gonna ask you to lengthen out of your right side body a little bit more. Good, breathing here. And then slowly unwind that arm. Reach that left arm back down towards the ground. Left heel lifts up again, runner's lunge. Right hand comes to the inside of the foot, toe heel that foot out to the side, lizard lunge again. But this time, if you'd like to add on, you have that block possibly or book nearby. You can reach it down towards the floor. Forearms can come towards the floor or onto that block. This is gonna be a really important moment, especially for those of you who are really bendy, to watch the right knee, that it doesn't come too far forward. So keep reaching that right knee stacked on top of that right ankle. Right hip back, left hip forward. Breathing here with an inhale. Exhale, letting it all go. Opening up the hips here as we breathe. Good. Hold one more breath. And then if you'd like to add on, we're gonna take that right arm, so the one closest to that front leg, scoop it underneath the thigh, palm face up by the right hip. As you take that bind, what is that like in your hips and in your shoulders? Be kind to your body here. Inhaling and exhaling. Then slowly unwind that bind. Start to slowly reach back up. Bring that block or that book to the outside of that right foot again, toe heeling that foot back to center. Left leg reaches back at that 90-degree angle. Left arm scoops up, then right, Virabhadrasana 2. Straightening that right leg. We're gonna hinge forward into a Trikonasana or triangle, so we reach that right arm forward. Right hip back, still press through that outer edge of that left foot as you lower down. Hand might come to the inside or the outside of the thigh, calf or ankle, maybe onto this block or books. And again, be mindful here that you're distributing weight evenly. So really press through the outer edge of that left foot. If you're someone who's double jointed or tends to hyperextend their leg, really be mindful here of lifting the kneecap. So engage the thigh or quad. You might even need to bend that front knee ever so slightly. And then bend that front knee intentionally as you come back up, Virabhadrasana 2. Come back to center, legs come back to the midline. Take that left foot, bring it back towards the left side of the room. Bend that left knee, good. Virabhadrasana 2. From here, we take that side angle for just 3 breaths. So we lower Left hand again, forearm can come to the thigh, maybe outside the foot on a block. Right arm overhead, bicep by the ear. And we breathe here. Now, as we're adding on, can you send that left hip forward a little bit more? Left knee headed towards the left pinky toe. Inhaling here and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And then from here, maybe right arm reaches overhead, and then behind you, right palm is face up by the left hip. So as you're here, your right hand might rest on your left thigh. Opening up, you can gaze over your right shoulder. Notice if you can lengthen the left side body a little bit more. Keep sending your left knee towards your left pinky toe. And then unwind that right arm. Reach that hand down towards the floor. When it's underneath your shoulder, right heel pivots up. Feel free to toe heel that left foot out to the side ever so slightly. Maybe you move that block, those books, whatever they are, underneath your forearms as you find this lizard lunge. Palms come together. Now, be mindful here of your left hip. So you're sending the left hip back, pressing down through that left heel, hugging knee into shoulder, shoulder into knee. Right thigh is lifting, right hip is coming forward. Right heel is reaching back. Feel free to stay like this. This is more than enough. If you'd like to add on, or if you want to make it easier, you can come up to your hands. If you're adding on, you take that left hand underneath your left thigh, palm faces up by the hip here, lengthening the side body, especially that left side. Inhale here and exhale. Good, breathing. And then unwind that left arm. Slowly find your way back up. From here, you can toe heel that left foot in ever so slightly. Left block or book comes to the outside of that left ankle. Right foot pivots so that that back edge is parallel to the back edge of the mat. Right arm scoops up, Virabhadrasana 2. From here, straighten that front leg, Trikonasana again. Soften that right hip as you send the left arm, chest, side body to the left side of the room. Left hand can rest outside or inside of the thigh, calf, or ankle, or on that block. Right arm might reach overhead again, creating that T shape with the arms. Now from here, really press to the outer edge of that right foot. Evenly distribute that weight. And if you're someone who tends to be double jointed, intentionally bend your left knee a little bit here and then lift the kneecap by engaging the left thigh and quad. Breathing here. Notice the heat possibly building in your body. How are you doing as you breathe? And now intentionally bend that front knee as you find your way back up, Virabhadrasana 2. Straighten that front leg, pivot the toes. Forward again. Now from here, hop or step feet together, the middle of the mat. Toes together, heels ever so slightly apart. From here, you take that chair pose again. So inhale those arms up. Exhale, sit those hips back. And now from here, if you'd like, hands come to the heart. And again, like we said earlier, keep the knees in line. As you start to hinge to the right, outside of the left tricep can come to the outside of the right thigh. Now, if you want to try the balance, we're going to start to lower the hands to the floor. You're going to lift your heels like we did at the beginning of class. Hands can be shoulder distance apart. Weight is on the outside of the left arm here as you start to slowly reach over those arms. Lengthen the spine, soften your gaze. And if you want to try flying, we're the BC Eagles, lift those legs. Toes can come off the ground. Breathing here. If that doesn't quite work for you and you'd like to just balance here with the twist, go for it. That's more than enough. And then walk those arms back to center. Drop the knees. Find your twist. Come back to center. Outside of your right arm to the outside of your left thigh. Hands can come to heart center. Again, just enjoy this twist, working the shoulders over the hips, or one day reaching the arms down towards the ground, shoulder distance apart. Soften the gaze and start to reach the chest in between those hands, a little bit forward as you start to track. Weight is on the outside of that right tricep, No weight on that left hand as you start to float the feet up towards the sky. This might work for you, it might not. Don't worry if it doesn't. Flying here. Parsva Bakasana here. side crow, and then find your way back to center. Eventually, hands can come to the heart. You might come back up to center, and then slowly reach all the way up. From here, find your way, opening those legs again. Maybe those hands can be over where the ankles are. Take your right arm, scoop it underneath the left. Maybe just give yourself a big hug here. If it works for you, backs the arms might come together, palms might come together. Feet are parallel to the front and back of your mat. So notice the feet. Now start to lift the low belly, lift the hips as you hinge forward. Just getting a stretch here through the shoulders as you fold forward and down. Lengthening here. Inhaling and exhaling. Hold for another moment. Now, for balance reasons, if it's easier for you or if you prefer, bring your hands to your hips as you start to stand back up. Otherwise, lift the inner thighs, lift the low belly. Keep a bend in the knees if you need one as you lift up. Release those arms. Good. Right thumb on top of the left as you interlace the hands behind your back. Open up your heart, open up your throat. Bend your knees ever so slightly here as you hinge forward again. This time, if you're double jointed like me, you need to bend your elbows a little bit. Good, breathing here. Prasarita Padottanasana C. Softening the back of your head, your neck, and your shoulders. Good. And then in time, slowly lifting back up. Good. Inhale those arms out, big T again. Left arm underneath the right. Give yourself a big hug. Maybe eagle arms. Inhale, lengthen here. Exhale, start to hinge forward and down. Keep lifting the tailbone, lifting the spine. Breathing here. Good. Stretching out the backs of the legs, the backs of the body. And when you're ready, start to slowly lift back up. Hands can always come to the hips for balance. Good. Breathing here. We release the hands behind the back, this time left thumb on top of the right as you interlace those hands. Elbows can bend here. Open up the heart, open up the throat. And then as you hinge at the hips, you start to fold forward and down. Arms might reach towards the sky if that's a little bit nicer for your shoulders. If it works for you and you prefer, you can reach the arms away from your body, closer towards the floor, lifting the tailbone and the hips. Keep pressing through the outer edges of the feet, even as your inner thighs lift. Tailbone lifting here. Good. Nice work. And then slowly start to come back up to center. Good. From here, we're going to take that bird of paradise next. So listen to your body if you'd like. If you have that hand towel, as I was talking about earlier, feel free to grab this here. You're going to start again, right side, right toes pivot to the right. You bend that right knee, Virabhadrasana 2. Now this time it's a little different because as you hinge at the hips, that right arm is going to slide underneath your right thigh. If you've never done bird of paradise, maybe you just stop here. Listen to your shoulders. If it works for you, you're going to be grabbing onto that strap behind you, if you can, holding onto both sides of that towel. If it's in your practice, you can take that left hand, grab it around your right wrist. You can toe heel that left foot back into the midline of the mat, press down into that left foot, and start to lift up here. So if that grip is solid, you can start to lift up, maybe finding yourself balancing on one leg. Inhale as you lengthen here. Now, if this feels pretty stable and you want to add on, you can always straighten that right leg. And you can always gaze over your left shoulder, breathing here. Hold for 3, hold for 2, and then lower, slower than you came up. Right foot hugs in and you start to lower it down towards the earth. Good. And slowly walk the feet back out. If you were taking that bind, maybe releasing that bind. Finding your way back up, Virabhadrasana 2. Switching sides here. This is not the make or break of class. If you don't have bird of paradise, it's not in your practice today, don't worry about it. If you want, take it to the left. So left toes pivot to the left. You bend that left knee, arms out to the side. As you hinge forward this time, it's a little different because that left arm comes underneath the left thigh. Palm face up by the hip. You can use the towel here to hold onto to grab that grip, or maybe your right hand can grab around your left wrist. Breathing here as you lengthen. You're gonna start to slowly toe heel that right foot back into the midline. You can start to lift the left toes off the ground. Maybe bending the knee a little bit for balance as you start to lift back up. Finding a spot to look at for balance. And if you're all the way lifted, you can stay here. Maybe in time you start to straighten that left leg. You can look over your right shoulder as you breathe here. Good. Holding for another 3, 2, 1, and just as slow, if not slower than you came up, you find your way going down. Defy gravity here by using your core. And then you start to slowly lower left foot towards the floor. Toe heel that right leg back out. Unwind those arms, find your way, Virabhadrasana. 2, come back to center. Good. This time, final hop or step feet to the midline. We're gonna take that chair pose again, toes together, heels slightly apart, neutralizing here. Inhale those arms up towards the sky, biceps by the ears. Inhaling here, exhale as you lower hands down towards the ground. Now I'm gonna face to the side just so you can see, but we're gonna take that Bakasana. We've done side crow. So if you wanna take crow, press your hands into the floor, knees hug into the armpits if you've been doing this for a while. Otherwise, knees are gonna hug the outsides of the triceps as they open out slightly. From here, gaze slightly forward. Start to lift your core, lift your low belly, and then start to try to hug the feet up towards your butt. Arms are in chaturanga style arms here as you breathe. Hold for another 3, 2, 1, and lower. You did it. Whew, breathe. Everything else we're doing is on the floor from here. So you can move your blocks out of the way. You can start to roll down. Feet are about hip distance apart. Arms can be out, or for a little bit gentler roll down, hands are behind the thighs. One vertebrae at a time, you find your way towards the floor. And as you're laying here, I want to invite you to hug your right knee in towards your chest. Inhaling here. Exhale, lengthen left leg out towards the floor. Left heel heavy, left thigh, calf heavy. Circle out your right ankle here. Breathe. And then cross your knee over your body to the left, gaze over your right arm. Breathing here with an inhale and exhale. And come back to center. Lower your right foot to the ground. Bring your left knee in. Hugging your hands around that left shin. You're always welcome to circle out the ankles at any point in time. In time, lengthen that right leg. Heel to the floor. Right thigh, right calf. It's heavy here. Breathing with an inhale. Exhale, cross this knee over the body to the right. Gaze over your left arm. Good. Inhaling and exhaling. And then come back to center. Good. From here, hug both knees in towards your chest. Circle out that low back. Curl your toes, whatever you need. And from here, slowly lower your feet to the floor. If you ever have low back pain in Shavasana, your feet are going to be about hip distance apart. Your knees are going to knock in towards each other. Otherwise, if it's comfortable for you, take a full Shavasana, legs out, about mat distance apart, maybe a little wider than hip distance, palms face up by the hips. And you have 2 minutes to just breathe. So take your time here. There's nowhere else you need to be. I invite you to inhale and exhale. Let it go. Breathing. And when you're ready, start to slowly wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe reach your arms overhead, legs in the opposite direction. And if you'd like, roll over to the right side, hugging your knees in towards your chest. And then slowly start to find your way into a seated position. Inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale those hands down to heart center. Thank you all so much for practicing today on this Earth Day. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. If you are interested in these classes, tomorrow we'll have Trailblaze Thursday. So stop back in. Otherwise, take care. Thank you, everyone.